and a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Global TV News Circle here in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Fauziya Lukman. The federal government has approached the Supreme Court to review its judgment that the owed 200, 500 and 1,000 naira should be legal tender until December 31st, 2023. The government wants the Apex Court to leave its March 3rd order. The old naira note should remain legal tender along with the new note till December 31st. The Apex Court had on March 3rd restrained the Central Bank of Nigeria from giving effect to the deadline on the use of old notes. The 7-member panel of the Apex Court faulted the policy of the CBN, saying the timing and implementations were defective. This is sequel to a suit instituted by the Kaduna, Kogi, and the Zamfara state government challenging the implementation of the policy. 13 other states later joined the suit as co-plaintiffs, and according to reports, the Apex Court had fixed November 30th for a hearing on the matter. The Senate on Wednesday asked the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) and its subsidiaries to submit relevant documents relating to the turnaround maintenance project of the Nigerian refineries. The Senate noted that from 2010 to date, over 12 trillion naira have been spent on TAM. The Senate also says that it had records of over $592 million, 4.8 million euros and 3.4 million euros spent between 2010 to date on TAM, yet none of the refineries was working. The Senate and ad hoc committee investigating the various turnout maintenance projects on Nigeria's refineries gave a directive during an interactive session with NNPCL management and other executives of the oil sector. Some of the heads of the affected agencies invited could not attend and send representatives to the Senate investigative hearing. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, has directed Controller General, Nigerian Correctional Service, Haliru Nababa, to investigate the allegations against personnel of service. The Chief of Defense, General Christopher Musa, had accused some personnel of the Correctional Service of conniving with inmates to finance the operations of terrorists. However, the minister, in a statement on Thursday by his special advisor on media and publicity, Alao Babatunde, commended the unpatriotic act by the personnel. He vowed that any personnel found capable of will be brought to book. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has assured residents of the nation's capital city that with their support, the FCT administration will achieve more in terms of performance in 2024. The minister, who disclosed this while on inspection tour of various project sites across the capital city, expressed optimism that when completed, the Millennium Tower project will change the landscape of Abuja as well as boost its tourism potential. Kikelamo Okiri has details.
The minister says the FCTA has also submitted supplementary budget of 2023, which President Tinubu has approved to transmit to National Assembly to be allowed to spend 61 billion naira before 2024 in order to complete specific projects so that by May 29, new projects will commence. While expressing satisfaction with the level of ongoing work at the Southern Park Ring 1, which connects in the heart of the city, and B12, which stretch from Bolingo Junction to the city gate, he assured the various contractors handling the project that they will be paid before the end of the month.
And the FCT itself, they will serve court processes. Nobody will bring it attention to the ministry, to the FCT. And then there will be judgment, and judgment. Now all those things will be things of the past. It will not work again. Those who are working in the legal departments will not be happy with us. But there's nothing we can do. When you take the right decision, some people will not be happy, some will be happy. What is important is overall interest. It's not for few people.
Earlier, the minister set up a task force to critically examine the land swap initiative started by its predecessors. The land swap initiative, which was introduced since 2012, had suffered setback due to several factors. The minister noted that the task force working under the issuance of certificates of occupancy was being empowered to handle all the complaints about the land swap.
Assignment for the task force instead of creating more taxes. We believe that the same task force should be able to handle this issue of land swap. We've had a lot of complaints. I want to know details of the land swap. And then on the sale of federal government houses, so many complaints. There are some houses that are built and abandoned. What is the position? Let us get the two documentations of the house that are sold and then they show receipt of payment.
The task force that is headed by the Senior Special Assistant to the Minister on Land, Urban and Regional Planning, Michael Chinda, has the mandate to work and deliver results within 2 months. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Sequel to the last edition of annual population lecture series aimed at addressing issues affecting Nigerian population, the National Population Commission (NPC) has held the 11th edition of the event in Abuja. Our correspondent Queen Agaba was at the event for Global Television and reports that the event was also seek to proffer solutions to issues affecting the nation's population.
It is Tuesday, November 21st, 2023, and this hall in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, is filled with policymakers, stakeholders, and participants gathered to attend the 11th installment of the National Population Commission's annual population series, with this year's theme, A Decade of Dialogue on Population and Development in Nigeria. This year's event highlights the numerous challenges associated with Nigeria's increasing population and the way forward to improve the quality and standard of living for citizens.
We needed to look at our rapid population growth. We needed to look at the high fertility rate, which at that time was 6 children per Nigerian women. We needed to look at our age structure, which I have already mentioned to you, that 70% of our young people were under the age of 30. So we needed to look at many other things, education, the girls who are giving birth when they are supposed to be children.
Describing the series as an invaluable drawing of demographic dynamite that shapes society, the chairman, National Population Commission, Nasir Issa Kwara, explains that this year's theme encapsulates a decade-long journey of knowledge sharing and effort in understanding and addressing the nation's demographic challenges.
Instrumental in fostering informed dialogues, sparking innovative ideas, and catalyzing actions that contribute to the well-being and progress of our dear nation.
Further speaking at the lecture was the Executive Director of Planned Parenthood Federation of Nigeria, PPFN, Dr. Okai Haruna Aku, highlighting the rising increase in Nigeria's population.
Nigerian population, which was 37.9 million in 1950, has rose today to 45.9 during independence to almost over 200 million today. Now, the United Nations predicts that Nigerian population will reach over 390 million.
With the lecture delivered on a decade of dialogue on Nigeria's population and development, the keynote speaker, Professor Olarewaju Olaniyo, gave a charge on the importance of education for Nigeria's growing population, amongst other things.
The answer for all our national problems comes to a single word, and that word is education. We have been treating the symptoms rather than disease. It is absolutely necessary to bring Nigeria out of the woods.
For Global Television, Queen Agaba reports.
The Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja will on Thursday deliver judgment in the appeal arising from Nasarawa State governorship election. This is contained in a notice issued by the court The Statement Election Petition Tribunal had earlier sacked the state governor, Abdullahi Suli, who was declared winner of the election by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Suli, through his counsel, Wole Olanipo SAN, approached the appellate court asking it to overturn the judgment of the tribunal. Following the previous editions of the meetings of management with registrars of foreign crop producing institutions, the management of the National Youth Service Corps NYSC has held a third edition geared towards tackling the emergency challenges in the mobilization of foreign trained Nigerian graduates for effective national service. Global TV's Queen Agaba was at the event and tells us more.
With the team tackling emerging challenges in the mobilization of foreign-trained Nigerian graduates for effective national service, the management of the National Youth Service Corps held its third meeting of management with corps-producing institutions in selected countries in Africa to review previous performances, including the implementation of resolutions, and also work out new templates for eradication of contemporary and emerging challenges. The meeting, which had in attendance participants of sister countries of Benin Republic, Togo, Niger, Cameroon and Ghana by extension, highlighted the challenges involved in mobilizing foreign graduates for national service, with the DG NYSC Brigadier General YD Ahmed reiterating the determination of the NYSC to stem the tide of fraudulent mobilization of unqualified home-based and foreign-trained graduates, especially those purported to have graduated from unaccredited universities.
We are taking it gradually. Some of the processes and procedures we have taken so far, we have taken it within the country first. And we discover most of these foreign-trained graduates, when they come back, you give them simple test to write, they find it difficult to write. Some of them they find it difficult to comprehend 2-3 sentences. So you begin to question. So that is the more reason why we invite these co-producing institutions to partner with us, so that we follow it out to ensure that those that have not gone through these schools, they would not mobilize them. So by the time we are done with those within African countries, we look anywhere within the shore of within the globe, then we can pursue it as well.
For Global Television, Queen Agaba reporting.
Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has reaffirmed Nigeria's unwavering commitment to the fundamental principle of press freedom, stressing its pivotal role in fostering a vibrant democracy and transparency in the governance. Idris stated that when he received the U.S. Charge Affairs to Nigeria, David Greene, who paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja. He said while Nigerians are for press freedom, we also want to call on the government of the United States to support efforts in instituting best practices in the media space, particularly fact-checking mechanism towards reducing the spread of misinformation, fake news and malinformation. Greene, in his response, says the United States is fully behind Nigeria's democracy and is supportive of its media growth through the offer of consistent training over the years, adding that Nigeria is a critical partner in regional security and economic development. Recounting the contributions of Sightsavers Nigeria in the last few years, the Executive Secretary, National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, James David Lalu, has applauded the effort of development partners in advancing the cause of persons with disability in Nigeria. Lalu gave the commendations recently in Abuja when he hosted a delegation from Sightsavers Nigeria who were on a courtesy call to the Commission. Lalu disclosed that Sightsavers Nigeria have assisted the Commission in various areas such as education, capacity building, supporting the process of Accessibility Standard Code, NCPWD's participation in the ratification of the African Protocol on Disability and opening of eye clinics in some states in Nigeria. In addition, the Executive Secretary seized the occasion to seek the support of Sightsavers towards the upcoming African Summit, which is slated to be hosted by Nigeria next year. According to him, it will be a great opportunity for advocating for rights of persons with disabilities and the support of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for diplomatic purposes. You're watching Global TV News Circle, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are on StarTime channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. When the News Circles returns, Petrol price rose to 613 naira 63 kobo in October, says NBS. The news continues shortly with details of this and other stories right after the short break. Please don't go away. This is Global Television bringing you live broadcasts of the news circle from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. On the foreign scene, U.S. fighter jets struck 2 targets in Iraq early on Wednesday, killing 5 pro-Iranian fighters in retaliation for repeated attacks on the U.S. troops in Iraq by Iran-backed groups. U.S. and Iraqi sources says the U.S. military conducted discreet precision strike against 2 facilities in Iraq, U.S. Central Command said on X platform. An Iraq security force official said Wednesday's strike killed 5 fighters of the Hezbollah Brigade, a pro-Iran group within Iraq's Hashim al-Shahabi Popular Mobilization Force. It was the first time the United States has announced a strike on Iraq-backed forces in Iraq since the launch of a flurry of attacks against U.S. targets in response to Washington's support for Israel in its war to destroy Hamas. Let's talk about business now, where the federal government has announced the revocation of 1,633 mining licenses due to default in payment of stipulated service fees by operators. The Minister of Solid Mineral Development, Dele Alake, made the announcement while addressing a press conference in his office. He stated that the revocation becomes imperative following the expiration of a 30-day notice to defaulters, as stipulated by Sections 1, 11 and 12 of the Nigerian Mineral Mining Act NMAA 2007. Uyi Agumufugwe has the details.
In compliance with the law, the Mining Cadastral Office, MCO, on October 4, 2023, began the process of revoking 2,213 titles. This included 795 exploration titles, 956 small-scale mining licenses, 364 quarry licenses, and 98 mining leases. Minister of Solid Mineral Development, Alake, therefore warned the previous holders of these titles to leave the relevant cadastre with immediate effect, as security agencies will work with the Mines Inspectorate of the Ministry to apprehend any defaulter found on any area where the titles have been revoked.
With this development, therefore, the MCO recommended the revocation of 1,633 mineral titles as follows: exploration license 536, quarry license 279, small-scale mining license 787, and mining lease 31. In line with the powers conferred on me, therefore, by the NMA, that's the Mining Act 207, Section 5A, I have approved the revocation of the 1,633 titles.
The minister further stated that efforts are ongoing to sanction other operators defaulting in payment of royalties, taxes, among others, emphasizing that revocation of operators short-changing government is an ongoing process, which he noted will create space for serious prospective investors to come on stream.
We don't intend to bend or break the rules whenever and wherever there are violations and non-compliance. Rather, we shall make such cases the examples for others to emulate.
Responding to inquiries on illegal mining, Alake read the Riot Act to culprits, asserting their days are numbered. He vowed that government would deal ruthlessly with those who refuse to turn a new leaf, restating the commitment of President Bola Tinubu to sanitize the mining sector.
It is indeed very unconscionable for corporate bodies making huge profits from mining to refuse to give government its due by failing to pay their annual service fee. It is indeed reasonable conjecture that such a company will even be more unwilling to pay royalties and honor its tax obligations to the government. The amount the companies are being asked to pay is so minimal compared to their own revenue projections.
The minister, however, reiterated that plans for the establishment of Mines Police is underway, revealing that the military will conduct initial clearance operations to pave the way for the deployment of the Mines Police. Uyi Agmofwegbe, reporting for Global TV News.
The Nigerian Customs Service has expressed readiness to collaborate with the Nigerian Copyright Commission, NCC, to combat piracy of intellectual and creative properties in Nigeria. This was made known by the Controller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, when receiving members of the Commission at the Customs Corporate Headquarters, Abuja. The CGC, welcoming the delegation to his office, announced that their collaboration would create opportunities for two parties to establish a significant legacy that will end the menace of piracy in the country. The National Bureau of Statistics says the average retail price of a litre of petrol increased from 195 naira 29 kobo in October 2022 to 630 naira 63 kobo in October 2023. It made the declaration in its oil price watch for October 2023 released in Abuja on Wednesday. NBS stated that the October 2023 price of 630 naira 63 kobo represented a 222.92% increase over the price of 195 naira 29 kobo recorded in October 2022. Comparing the average price value with the previous month of September 2023, the average retail price increased by 0.71% from 626 naira 21 kobo. The federal government has inaugurated an energy management and control center established in Abuja to monitor electricity mini-grids operating across the country. Its said center, known as the Energy Management System, will serve as an off-grid electricity supervisory control and data acquisition system for mini power grids in Nigeria. Speaking at the launch of the center in Abuja on Wednesday, the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabo, says, "For us, quote and unquote, the EMS is not just a tool, it is a mechanism we plan to optimize to alleviate the existential problem of poor energy data in the nation's energy space," unquote. The Chief Executive Officer of Rural Electrification Agency, Ahmad Salinjo, said the center constructed in Abuja headquarters of REA was made possible with the support of the Korean government under its official development assistance. He explained that the Electricity Act 2023 under Section 154 mandated the REA to put in place appropriate machineries for the monitoring of rural electrification implementation projects nationwide. He said the system will integrate the REA's existing programs, providing real-time insight and enabling the agency to navigate the dynamic energy landscape with precision. The Federation Allocation Account Committee, FAAC, has shared a total sum of 906,955 billion October 2023 Federation account revenue to the federal government, state and local government council. A communique issued by the FAAC at its November 2023 meeting indicated that the sum of 906,755 billion naira total disputable revenue comprised disputable statutory revenue of 305,750 billion naira, disputable value-added tax revenue of 323,446 billion naira, electronic money transfer levy revenue of 15,552 billion naira, exchange difference revenue of 202,887 billion naira, and the augmentation of 60,000 billion naira. Nigeria's quest for a first appearance at the ICC T20 World Cup begins today in Namibia, where the Yellow Greens will take on Kenya in their first game of 2024 World Qualifiers. The 2024 tournament is billed for the United States and the West Indies from June 4th to 30th, with the top two teams from series joining South Africa and 13 other countries at the World Cup. Other teams in the series are hosts Namibia, Zimbabwe, Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda. Today's game will be the 7th meeting between both countries since 2019, and the East African leads the head-to-head with 5 wins to Nigerians. That's it on Global TV News Circle. We are on StarTimes channel 276. Follow us across social media platforms using